Not enough.
Miss Rhonda, is there any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, no additions to the agenda.
And who are we missing today?
Supervisor Poitras is absent today.
Gone, long gone. Agenda number 2. Ask County Council to read items in the record that's for the closed session.
Yes, Chairman, there's one item for closed session today. It's conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The county negotiator is Adrian Caleb, and the employee organization is all units.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? I thought she was the CAO. Oh, Eric's back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Trade places.
Hey, she did a good job while he was gone, man. She held the fort down and
That's
the
good.
way it was. And,
All quiet on the west.
right.
Wouldn't expect
Yeah,
any
ran
less.
smooth, man.
Smoother than before. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Any public comment for the closed session items? See nobody running up. Okay, let's go into closed session and get this deal hammered out. Know we can do it. Okay, County Council, was there anything to report out of closed sessions?
Chairman, there are no reportable actions from closed session.
Thank you very much. Okay. We're going to open and close. One I've got is Kenny Hoy from North Fork. Been up there probably 30 years at least. I didn't know he was sick, but he had pancreatitis, call it cancer. Gone really fast. Huh? Kenny. Ray went to Buckhorn. After he retired, he worked there as a bartender. Always a big smile. All the time. Big smile you ever could believe. Anyway, he's sorely missed. Brett.
Yeah, I just wanted to open and close today in the memory of Garrett Noblet, Rochelle Noblet, and Michael Noblet's son. Passed away at the age of 28, just way too soon. Was a wonderful young man, had a lot going for him, was very, very bright, very good-looking kid. It's just sad to see someone, to lose someone at that young, and my heart and prayers go out to the Noblet family.
Yes. Anybody else? And none. By the way, Mr. Poitras, Supervisor Poitras, won't be here today. So we're running on 4 members. So invocation would be by Greg Perkins from the Grace Community Church. Stephanie, would you like to read the flag salute?
I hope you have it memorized.
I know.
You read it.
How you doing, buddy? Everybody please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
you very much, Greg and Stephanie. I really appreciate that. Here again, celebrating the 125th birthday or anniversary, whichever one you want to call it, for Madera County. We're honoring the past, embracing the present, and looking ahead to the future. Keep growing the way we've been growing and being #1 in the state of California. And you can see it on the screen. In the mid-1800s, Coarse Gold was known as Coarse Gold Gulch, after the nuggets found in nearby creeks. I think it should be creeks and stuff, but they got wrote down. But anyway, if somebody don't know that, coarse gold is really coarse and bigger. Like fine gold is real fine and thin. It's totally two different types of gold. And that's the reason they got those names. So that's true today when the people are out gold mining on those two creeks especially. Today, Coarse Gold Village sits on the site of the former Coarse Gold Inn, which was a restaurant, salon, hotel, and a theater built in 1880. The inn was destroyed by fire 3 times, the last which was August 9th, 1989. I remember when that fire was. They used to have a lot of good parties and stuff there on Saturday nights, so had bands and everything. It was a pretty cool place. Today, the village has a deli, a hair salon, 3 cabins built around 1939 and served as guest cabins, which rented for $2.50 for a single and $3 for doubles. The rock walls were built in the early 1900s, and they're not going away. So,
Were those cabins on Airbnb?
yeah, they were then, and then now they're on. They're floating because it's, yeah. I wonder if they actually got businesses in them now. So, yeah, I wonder when the Airbnb did start. Okay. Item 7E. We get to so the public knows item 7E will be pulled and rescheduled for July the 10th. And I'm going to have Rhonda read item 4, the public comment.
Public comment. The first 15 minutes of each regular session is set aside for members of the public to comment on any item within the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. Items presented under public comment may not be discussed or acted upon by the board at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public is invited to comment at the time the item is called for the consideration by the board. Any person addressing the board under public comment will be limited to a 3-minute presentation to ensure that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak. Any handouts to the board must be submitted to the chief clerk of the board for distribution to the supervisors. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium. Also, all persons addressing the board may state their name and county residence for the record.
Anyone got anything to say about in the public comment? Nobody rushing up? Well, I'm going to say something. I just wanted to thank the voters, the people. You're stuck with Brett, Dave, and I again for 4 more years, starting January the 1st, 2019, huh? Right. And it was a crazy thing, but we got it done, and looking forward to serving you. And if you didn't vote for me, that's okay. I'm still going to represent you, and that's the way it goes in this world of free America. So, and then I just wanted to say something. I know we usually do it under supervisor's report, but last Friday they had the Mariposa Grove of the giant sequoias ribbon cutting. Actually, it was last Thursday. I mean, not Friday. They opened up to the public on Friday. And if you haven't been up there before, if you were up there before, it was amazing. But now you ought to go up and look at it, what they've done. Of course, they spent $40 million, but what a difference. But if you haven't got a chance, go up and see that. So,
We got
yes.
a comment. I just wanted to, from the dais, thank the city of Madera for their parks department. They've got a summer camps for kids. I put Wyatt and Holly, they started there yesterday. They had done it last year too. But yesterday, they're out at the fairgrounds playing sports, face painting, crafts. and a lady came with 3 birds of prey. So they got to see an owl, a red-tailed hawk, and Hallie's literally her favorite bird, which she has a favorite bird, which I think is awesome, was a peregrine falcon, and that was there. So she was pretty excited. It's pretty amazing the enrichment that they have, and it's getting bigger. So I think
And
people are
kids
hearing
still
about
go
it.
to it?
Yes, so you can sign up online, and I think this week is they're already filled, but you can look for other times. It's very reasonable in terms of the cost for families, and but I just wanted to thank the city of Madera for having such wonderful activities for kids during the summer. Keep them active, keep them busy, and doing the right things. So.
Perfect, yeah. So all you people out there in the world of this high-tech stuff, take your kids over there and let them enjoy that.
Let them enjoy it. Yeah, they were sweaty by the time they came home, which is a good thing. It means that they were just out playing and having a good time, look like kids, you know.
That is really nice.
Yeah, tomorrow they go roller skating. Thursday they go to the zoo. Friday they go swimming at swimming pool park. They get a lot of enrichment out of it, so it's pretty cool.
Cool deal. Okay, no more public comment. We're moving to the consent calendar. Any board members on concerns with the consent calendar?
Move to approve.
I'm open to the public first. Anybody have any comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none. Okay, you got the motion. Who pushed the vote?
I hit it.
Okay.
I hit motion.
You got it.
Brett got
I
second.
got the second.
Got the second? Okay, so you guys know what we're gonna do now. We're trying to set up this new system. So when you do make the motion, push your button, and then do the second, and then Rhonda will push the button to vote. And then we vote, and then she'll put it on there to record the vote up there. So, okay, we got the first and the second. Roll call, please.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Okay. Moving on to agenda regular session number 7.
7A, Board of Supervisors Department, presentation of a proclamation proclaiming June 21st, 2018 as the longest day in Madera County. Whereas Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and whereas more than 5 million Americans are living with the disease, and whereas 16.1 million family and friends provide care to people with Alzheimer's and other dementias in the United States, and whereas in the United States, someone develops Alzheimer's every 65 seconds, and whereas in 2017, 16 million caregivers of people living with Alzheimer's disease or other dementias provided an estimated 18.4 billion hours of unpaid care, a contribution to the nation valued at more than $232 billion. And whereas in 2018, Alzheimer's disease will cost the United States $277 billion, with this number projected to rise to more than 1.1 million in 2050. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of Madera County, State of California, proclaim this 19th day of June as the longest day in Madera County.
Thank you. We got representatives there? Board members, you want to go down and?
Loretta, would you see if the mic, is the light on?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, we have a comment
morning.
for the board.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Loretta, and I would like to thank also my mom, Mary, back in the crowd there today. Like my mother, I was born and raised in Madera. My grandparents, Jerry and Jose Wilson, also moved to Madera in the early 1950s. and they raised their 3 girls here. So after losing my grandfather to Alzheimer's back in 2014, I channeled my grief by being proactive in helping to find a cure instead and got involved with the Alzheimer's Association shortly after. Since then, I've now been working on creating corporate partnerships across all of Silicon Valley, including my company Airbnb. And it was a huge step to show that, my hometown and especially all of you taking that step with me, and showing how our local government and the public sector can get involved in helping to find a cure as well. So I wanted to make sure to say thank you to each and every one of you. And thank you for also acknowledging the disease and the impact that it has on local families and surrounding families across all of Madera. And also, I would like to thank our local library and its director, Patrick Fitzgerald, for hosting Read to Remember this Thursday for the longest day. Thanks again.
One second, we're going to get a picture. Now we'll get a picture with you. Sign your name.
I can do that.
You're paying us that money ever.
That's why I heard the little Airbnb comment.
Wrote it on there.
Well, why?
Oh. Yeah, it is.
Loretta,
It's gonna replace.
when did Airbnb start? Huh? 2008? Oh, wow. It's pretty new. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going to move item 7L up. And would you read that, please?
Hello, good morning. Tracy Kennedy, Madera County Treasurer Tax Collector. And in the audience is also Jim Berg from Yosemite Union High School.
I'm going to read the thing in first. We haven't read
Okay.
it in.
Treasurer, Tax Collector Department, County and County Council Department. Discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution authorize issuance and sale of the Yosemite Unified School District 2018-19 Tax and Revenue Anticipation Notes on behalf of Yosemite Unified School District in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $3,500,000 and authorize the execution and delivery of a note purchase contract and approving matters relating thereto.
Okay,
Okay, good morning.
good morning again.
Same person, same office, same people in the audience. Anyway, this is to issue on behalf of the Yosemite Union High School District a TRAN, Tax and Revenue Anticipation Note, for any shortage that they might have in cash flow. We originally weren't going to do it, and then we were told we had to do it. So here we are doing it. Anyway, we've talked to Mr. Berg. He's the new superintendent, correct? Yes. There at Yosemite, and we're very confident, along with County Office of Ed, that everything is secure and financing will be fine.
All that matters right there.
See?
And I think they're doing a good job getting everything back together again. We appreciate that very much. Okay, did you guys have anything you want to say? Okay?
Only if it looks like it's going bad.
I know.
I make the
Open
motion.
up to the public. Anybody on the public have anything to say? Close it up, and what's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Got a
Second.
second? Got a second? Now we'll wait till Rhonda punches the button. Now we can vote. Okay, roll call, please.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Thank you guys for coming over and coming down. So
Is-
now you can keep going forward.
Good luck.
Anything we can do to help you, let us know. Okay. Okay, 7B.
7B, County Administration Human Resources Operations Division. Introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 2.22 of Title II of the Madera County Code for the reorganization of the Department of Community and Economic Development. Waive the reading and set the second hearing for June 26, 2018.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Matt Treber, Community Economic Development Director for the county. Here today, certainly available to answer any questions. This is, as stated, the first hearing on the reorganization and combining our fire marshal's office and our building office into one entity. It will result in some salary savings from the elimination of one deputy director position in my department. Big thanks to Adrian and her team, as well as Eric and his team on this item. I'm available for any questions the board may have.
Any questions from the board members? Any from the public?
So, I thought this one got pulled. Didn't you say 7B was taken? Which one was
No, 7.
Seven.
E is in
E.
elephant.
E? Oh, okay.
This is 7B.
I was wondering why this one got pulled.
No,
No,
7E is.
I think this is a great idea. I'm happy to make the motion.
You're making a motion, you said?
Mhm.
Okay. Got a second?
Second.
Second. Vote please, Rhonda. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Rhonda, Rob's name keeps coming up as a second on all of them.
Okay, on mine it's showing absent, so
Okay.
we'll have to figure out. Thank you.
Okay.
Kind of glitched there.
7C.
7C, introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 2.20 of Title II of the Madera County Code pertaining to the Department of Public Works. Waive the reading and set the hearing for June 26, 2018.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Adel Kat, Public Works. Thank you, Rhonda. This is to set, this is the first to introduce the change in the ordinance. And this change has many items. And just very quickly, we're going to rename the Capital Improvement Division to Engineering Services Division. We will eliminate the Municipal Services Division within Public Works. We will establish the Administrative Services Division in Public Works. We will establish the position of Deputy Director Classification to oversee the Administrative Services Division. Also, we will clarify that the Public Works Director, including each of the Deputy Director, may also report to the County Administrative Officer. We will remove the oversight of flood control. which will be reestablished in the Water and Natural Resources Department. And with that, I'm here for any questions.
Any comments from the board members? I just want to say, I really want to thank you. It's a sitting on this board, and you have leaders in our department heads that step up to the plate and try to make these new reorgs that makes our county so much more efficient and responsive to our customers, our people, our citizens in Madera County. This is a chart he gave us a few weeks ago, how he was going to do it, and how we are moving forward with it, and I really, really appreciate that. So,
Thank you for your support, Mr. Chairman, and also don't forget Adrian and the CEO and everybody's
team.
support.
It
Yeah,
takes a
and
team
this
to
is
do this.
absolutely, and we look at what is our goal. Our goal is customer service. How do we best do it?
Right.
And I think this is a more fluid and interactive structure for the department. It's always a learning.
So people know that just one person can't just change some of this. It's got to go through HR. It's got to go through our unions. It's got to go through all the department heads that works on this. Deputy's new here. She's already saying, hey, Madera County steps up to the plate, don't we?
Of course, I'd like to just assure Stephanie and you that with this change, we will always be involved. We'll always support each other.
Right.
You know, whether it's CD, water, and public works.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative of the continual flux that we're in, because the fact is we reorganized the entire county some time ago. Back, we went through the MGT study. We saved millions and millions of dollars every year as a result of those reorganizations. And we continue to do more with less in a more efficient manner that actually has escalated our service and brought our level of service up to such an important level that we have gained even national recognition for the changes that have been made. And it's largely due to, first of all, the administration who saw the need to make the changes, and we worked together as a board to make those changes. But we have some extremely intelligent people who understand and operate this, what do you know, like a business. And we are looking out for the taxpayer. We're looking out for the people who pay the bills. And when they come into the county, they get a smile, effort of service that they don't see anywhere else. And comments are coming back regularly. I want to commend all of our staff, from those who are on the line all the way up to management, because the culture of service is extremely excellent in Madera County, and I'm very proud of that.
Supervisor Frazier.
Yeah, I echo those comments from both my colleagues. But what I liked about this reorganization is that we're moving more into where people that are working don't have to know everything about, or a little bit about everything, right? And that's kind of the model that it was before, was, you know, they'd be working through the day on roads and really diving into that, and then something drops on their desk. Now they have to change thinking to water, or they have to change thinking to special districts or sewer or whatever. And it was to live in that kind of crazy jumbled world. You can't just stop thinking in one way, because they're two complete or multiply different ways of thinking. And so to have it more streamlined through different areas, I think we'll get a much better output of work, because you're not having to change that way. And to be able to see that, I just want to commend you on that. And I hope this actually helps, not just with customer service, but also satisfaction of our employees, to be able to, you know, not have to worry about what's the next fire I've got to put out in a different method. So I think this will work very well, and that's why I've already checked my motion box.
Yeah.
I second it.
Mr. Rodriguez. Adjust it.
Correct.
A lot of confidence this has probably worked pretty good. But if not, we'll see.
Thank you.
This is what it's all about, trying to improve what we're
Absolutely.
doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, just one more thing real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what Max said is really, really key to this
Yes.
comment, and that is that, you know, the Marines have a motto, adapt and overcome. And organizations that are unwilling to adapt
Yeah.
and stay status quo or say, we've always done it this way,
Yeah.
they're going to fall by the wayside. They're going to lose in the end. And what has made our organization so successful, and Tom wasn't just whistling Dixie when he said we are the #1 county in the state of California. That is a statistical fact now. There's no denying that Madera County is #1. And the reason we're #1, we've been able to adapt in difficult circumstances and overcome no matter what the situation is, because we are in flux in a positive way. So I commend
Yeah.
everyone in that circumstance.
Just what Roger said about that. We've always done it that way. Max and I, we got on this board, boy, we got that told to us all the time. We've always done it that way. Get used to it. I never get used to nothing like that. So, and we got a really good progressive board now that supports our staff so that we can do these kind of great things for our county. So
Thank you.
anyway, public comment. Seeing none, we got the vote. I mean, Brett made the motion, Dave seconded it.
I move to waive the reading and set the hearing for June
Oh, yeah, that's
26th.
right. So roll call, please.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0. 4-0, one absent.
7D. Moving right along.
7D, County Administration, Human Resources Operations Division. Introduction of ordinance amending chapters 2.17 and 2.23 of Title II of the Madera County Code pertaining to the Office of Development Services and the Department of Water and Natural Resources, respectively. Waive the reading and set the hearing for June 26, 2018.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Adrienne Caleb reporting this morning. This is an ordinance change that's going to impact the Department of Water and Natural Resources. We do have our director in the audience with us in case the board has any questions. But what this ordinance change primarily does is that it establishes a deputy director position. It was determined that because of the magnitude of what the county has to overcome to become SIGMA compliant with 2020, it's virtually impossible for one person to do that alone. And so it's needed to establish a deputy director position. The second change is actually an offshoot of what the Director of Public Works just shared, and that the flood control will now be within Department of Water and Natural Resources.
Another good job, Supervisor Rogers.
Yes, I'm very pleased with this change. Simply put, there are so many things that are going to be done in water. And if we could emphasize the importance of this department, I'm so glad we have it. And that Stephanie's leading it, because of all the things we're doing right now that economics depends on, and that our livelihoods depends on, the value of our homes, everything is predicated on the ability to draw water out from under our feet, to bring water into this county, to continue to have that resource that is so important, and to have the function of all of that in that one department, flood control as well, because 215 water which is flood control water, is going to be more important to this county than ever. In the realization that we found out this last year that Madera County is actually eligible when it's available for 100,000 acre feet of 215 water. We need to find out a way to purchase that water, get it into the county. Flood control channels have to be clear so that they serve the purpose of being flood control channels. And at the same time, we get that groundwater recharge that's so preeminent to the region. and so necessary to our continued function. And then with all of that is going to come a multiplicity of issues, the growth of our canal so we can bring water in faster, groundwater recharge systems that are so important to the whole thing. And Stephanie is the hub around, I say Stephanie, the department and her leadership is going to be a hub around which all of that flows. She's definitely going to need help. And I would say we're not growing government, we're growing a solution to a big problem. We've got to have the resources and the people that are attacking that issue adequately. So thank you for that.
Supervisor Frazier, sorry.
To that point at the end, so this is a position that was already under Public Works before and is now being moved under here, correct?
Correct, for flood control,
So
correct.
we're not really growing anything. We're reclassifying, putting it under a different department so that because there's more work in that department now that we saw had a pretty good lineup for what was being done under Public Works. Is that correct?
Yes, that aspect for flood control is correct. And the addition is for the deputy director position.
Yeah. So there's an addition in one department, but a subtraction in another.
Correct.
So it's
That's
not
a good point.
Yeah, it's not
That is
growing
correct.
anything.
Yeah.
It's reclassifying. So
And, Brett, remember, we had assistant with the water director, previous one too, so.
this is an extra help that,
Right.
yeah.
So that's not going to be there no more either,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Right,
now, so-
correct.
I thank my colleague for pointing that out because I think that's very key to note. In a lot of the things that we're doing, that is the case.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, open up to the public. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, what's your pleasure,
I
board?
move to waive the reading and set the hearing for June 26th,
Second.
2018.
Got a second? Rhonda? Okay,
Okay,
keep
call
moving.
for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Thank you.
Okay, item 7E, we're going to reschedule. We're going to pull it today and reschedule it for 7/10, July the 10th. So we'll move right on now to 7F.
7F, Information
morning.
Technology Department. Discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Converge One, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $10,929.41 to provide professional services to replace a cryptographic email appliance.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tanya Say, Chief Information Officer, and with me today I have Brian Rohde, our Network Infrastructure Manager. Okay, the item before you is to have professional services to install an email encryption product. And this was driven largely with the behavioral health services needed this to do their business. And then we found out that it also extended to public health, Department of Social Services, as well as child support services. So the professional services will be $6,500. That is for the one-time installation. After the product is installed, then we're confident that our staff will be able to maintain that, enhance it, configure, make any amendments that are necessary to run the product from then on out. The product is $4,429.41.
That's where it came up to the 10,000, because you said 65, I was thinking,
$6,500 is the professional services involved.
Okay. Any questions from the board? I just want to thank you guys. It's just, we've come so far with the IT department now, I just can't believe it, but we were just before. That's all I can say. Public comment? Seeing none? What's your pleasure, board?
Motion to approve.
Max made the motion. Who got a second?
I'm trying to second it. Yeah.
It's in.
Yeah, we're having technical
Rhonda.
difficulties.
See what it says.
There it is.
There we go. Okay.
Ready to vote. There we go.
Okay.
High-tech stuff up here, you guys. You guys set us up so we're all getting educated here. Roll call.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Go
One
up there.
absent.
They'll show up there. Fortress, are you second? Oh, I see. We just need to take that off. It says second by Frazier.
Yeah, I'll have to work with the software. I don't understand because it's not showing up on my major screen here.
Oh,
So I'll have to work with the.
put a big X on it. Just write it on the screen. That way you know what it is. Does that work? That's IT stuff. 7G. You guys got a lot of stuff here.
7G, discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Converge One, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $46,493.66 to implement mobile device management at the Madera County Sheriff's Office.
Mobile device management is a compliance aspect. Whenever you have remote access or you have mobile devices, we're hoping that this will be the foundation for an enterprise mobility program.
Would you, Tanya, for each one of them, would you mind saying your name and stuff so it's on the record? Because
Absolutely.
people happen to come in just now, they'd say, who's this? Right?
Tanya, good morning, Tanya Say, Chief Information Officer, and with me today is Brian Rohde, our Network Infrastructure Manager. This item is for consulting services and professional services for a one-time cost of $14,458 to do the one-time implementation at the Sheriff's Office. The product itself is $32,035. We are hoping that this will become the platform that we can extend to the rest of the county to increase the services and be able to provide remote access and mobile device management throughout the county. Like I said, the professional services will be for the one-time implementation at the Sheriff's Office. However, we're hoping that our staff will be able to work with through the process and that we'll be able to do the future rollouts for the rest of the county. We're confident for sure that the staff will be able to maintain the product afterwards. As you can see, I'm not sure how much you were able to glance through this. There's a lot of steps involved in this one, and a lot of this will be handled by the consultant, but there's a lot of joint activities that will also be managed by our staff. And we're available
Great.
for any questions. Any technical questions, Mr. Rohde will be able to answer.
No, we want you to answer them. Supervisor Frazier.
Yeah. So I've got a question. As we keep going down here, you see the Converge one quite a bit, and there was 7E that was pulled, which we can't talk about. But are these all predicated on the infrastructure of 7E being in, or and then were each of these, because I'm sure that for that large of a one in 7E, there was a bid process. Was there a bid process for each one of these individual items?
We
or is it all in one bid package?
We used they're available on a pre-bid contract, Converge One and Cisco products. So we used the pre-bid contract.
Okay.
Good.
So there's like a single source.
Cisco is a single source. Cisco products are only available through of course, Cisco. So there are and Converge One is a preferred premier partner of Cisco, and we got their services from the a pre-bid contract.
So because you have to use Cisco systems, then that's the only source that you can go through?
For the consulting and professional services, yes, we probably could go through somebody else, but we wanted to use one of their gold partners.
Especially when they're already used to what we got going and stuff.
Right. And them being on a pre-bid contract.
Okay, and so the rest of these, we don't need to have their infrastructure. We don't have to have this infrastructure upgrade project for these to work through Converge One?
No. So the infrastructure project will be for the network and the infrastructure piece. The item we just heard, 7F, that's part of the actual data center. That's at the data center level. The one we're hearing right now, 7G, is a security component, but no, we do not have to have the infrastructure in place for MDM to work.
For all these to work. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Rogers.
What is the projected time that this is going to cover security measures for these operations? What is your projected?
For this particular
Period.
item
Yeah.
or for the one for 7E? 7E,
Well, not for
we're going to
se-
hear,
Not for 7E,
but for 7G for the mobile device management,
yeah.
well.
Are they
for-
all different? I
Yeah, they're all different. It's usually a 5-year life is usually,
Okay.
what you
Yeah, that's what
count
I-
on is
that's what I
it's
was
a
looking
5-year year life.
Right.
There'll be some maintenance costs in between,
Right.
but it's usually a 5-year life. Now that's
Right.
not I mean, we have to anticipate that there may be some regulatory changes.
Right.
So we always have to
Right.
keep that in mind and kind of keep ahead of that.
Well, it's critical that we stay on top of the security for these networks because they are the lifeblood of this organization as far as we're accomplishing more because of IT and an IT world. Madera County is actually on the top of that curve dealing with it. So I think it's very good. Thank you for guarding the door.
Okay.
Supervisor Frazier, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Any public comment? Seeing none, what's your pleasure, board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got those down, Rhonda? Here we go.
I do. Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yay.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yay, yay.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
7H.
7H, Information Technology Department, discussion and consideration of approval to enter into an agreement with Converge One, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $25,420 to upgrade the HP hardware and software virtual environment.
Good morning. Tanya Say, Chief Information Officer, and with me today is Brian Rohde, our Network and Infrastructure Manager. The item before you today is completely for professional services in the amount of $25,420. This is, again, a one-time implementation. After it's implemented, the first time, then we'll be able to maintain it and configure it and administer. This is done at the data center level. And it is in our virtual environment where we house probably approximately 80% of our servers are done. So if you had a chance to glance at it, there's many, many steps in this process. Our data center employees will be involved in the implementation. However, we wanted the guide to be able to walk us through this because one misstep could end up
Big time.
end up affecting, like I said, 80% of our servers at the data center level.
Wow. Okay, any comments from the board members? Seeing none, any from the public? Seeing none, what's your pleasure?
Measure twice, cut once, right? Yeah.
That's all right. That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Supervisor
On the
Rodriguez.
7F, 7G, 7H, are they all related to each other?
7G and 7H, they both have, they're both products of VMware. They're both products of that. However, they're not, the previous item was for mobile device management, meaning that we'll be able to keep track of where the laptops are and cell phones are for the sheriff's office and in the future, the rest of the county. The VMware in 7H is for our virtualized network. It's the same company, but they're different products.
Thank you, Max. Okay, we got a first and a second. A vote? Voted or
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yay.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
7I.
7I, Information Technology Department, Microsoft Active Directory Domain Service Infrastructure. 1, discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Converge One, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $120,000 to provide professional services to migrate computing resources to the new Active Directory Domain Service. 2, discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Chief Information Officer to approve the statements of work that are associated with the contract. 3, discussion and consideration of approval of transfer of appropriations number 17148, transferring the amount of $120,000 from information technology equipment furniture not greater than $5,000 to information technology professional services for fiscal year 2017-18.
Good morning again.
Good morning, Tanya Say, Chief Information Officer, and with me today is Brian Rohde, our Network and Infrastructure Manager. This item is recently in the last fiscal year, we implemented a new domain. 2 predecessors ago, a decision was made to put an underscore in our domain name, meaning we had to create a new domain. So it's almost like building a new house. So the house is built, but now we have to move every piece, every network, anything attached to the network, all has to be moved over to the new domain. So our staff has actively been working on this project, but we have ran into some issues, and so the professional services will be available to help us when we run into those issues, so that we don't have to keep, because any delay when we're working on this, any delay, if we had to come before the board every single time we had a delay,
Right.
it's going to start to really delay the project. So this is to
Backing it up.
increase our efficiency, get things rolling smoother. I do want to point out that in this contract, we specifically requested that although there's a lump sum available, whenever we engage with Converge One, we'll engage in a statement of work. So they will provide us with a statement of work and with a deliverable. They don't just charge, they don't just say, okay, well, X amount of hours. They have a deliverable, and they don't get paid until they're signed off on that deliverable. So we will be managing this through little mini statements of work. So if we run into a problem and say it's going to cost, $10,000, they'll give us a statement of work to explain what the process is and what they're doing on that.
Okay, any comments from the board members? Any from the public? Thank you guys again. Yeah. You put a good team together, girl.
Like paying a moving company. I like the analogy. It makes a lot of
Right.
sense. It really did. It's
What's your pleasure, board?
move to approve.
Second?
That down?
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier,
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez,
Yay.
Supervisor Wheeler.
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, 1 absent.
7J.
7J, discussion and consideration of approval of transfer of appropriations number 17-147, transferring the amount of $275,000 from information technology permanent salaries to software maintenance and modification and computer equipment for fiscal year 2017-18.
Good morning, Tanya Say, Chief Information Officer, and with me today is Brian Rohde, our Network and Infrastructure Manager. The item today before you is to transfer salary savings that we've had in permanent salaries to computer equipment. With that, we would like to purchase general fund computers. Some of our computer equipment in the general fund departments is as old as 6 and 7 years old. So this year, in 17-18, we have started replacing computer equipment. I think we've deployed probably within the subunit and the general fund departments, it's well over 400 computers this year. We will be, again, continuing that process this next year. BHS is going to replace all of their computers. The computers that are purchased right now will be deployed in 18-19, and they will be for general fund departments. In addition to that, money would also allow us to put another digital signage in the lobby. So we have one digital signage out here. There's going to be another option right when you walk in the main doors. And so that would connect one more screen out there. And then in addition, it would allow for us to purchase licenses to upgrade Laserfish, which is highly used by the Board of Supervisors Department, as well as we'll use that when we implement our enterprise content management system.
Okay.
I'm available for any questions.
Mr. Frazier.
How did you achieve the salary savings? Where did that come from?
Took the words out of my mouth.
So what happened on that is that we were having some issues at the beginning of the year when we would do recruitments. We weren't getting a lot of applicants. Now what happened was we did work closely with HR. I should say that Mr. Rohde here worked very closely with Michelle May. They came up with a plan, and we were able to hire some really good candidates that were extra help. We'll be training them to hopefully be able to be competitive in the next go-round for permanent, but it was basically achieved through hiring extra help instead of permanent positions.
Okay.
That's good for entry-level positions, but sometimes the entry-level staff needs just a little bit extra assistance to get to where they would be like our network engineer or our ITS or our information technology systems analyst.
And this should help as we update our aged computers
Systems.
to be able to, will we need all of those positions, even if they're not extra help, because we have the new systems? Or,
Once we get, if we had all this, the computers, if all the computers were in place, then that will definitely help with labor. Yes.
so this is, I just want to point out, it's a good example of doing more with less, and then using that to actually, instead of just socking it away like can happen sometimes, it's actually going towards something that will make us more efficient. And I just want to commend you and your staff on it was probably not easy to get there through those salary savings, because it was probably a little harder to run the network through the year and always having to do the extra help. But you guys did it very seamlessly and were able to now make something better out of that. And so I just appreciate it.
And the
Point out.
candidates have been, they're going to be strong contenders now to
Well-
move up to higher level positions.
Well, I would imagine there's, as someone in the IT world, if they know they're coming into a system that is better or is close to up to date, you'll probably be able to attract more people versus if they know that all they're going to be doing all day long is like fixing,
Putting a Band-Aid.
putting on something that is 10 years old. I mean, that's not cutting edge. That's not going to attract anybody. It's not always about, where we're at in the median salary survey. It's about what am I going to be able to do when I'm there? Can I look at things that are actually technologically relevant today? And so I think that will probably help in terms of us recruiting versus I'm not going to go in there just so that I can get yelled at because the computer, they're running Windows 95, it's,
That's absolutely right.
yeah. I mean, I guess you'll get some throwback techies that love 90s stuff, but I think that'd be about it.
Very good point.
Yeah. We got 275,000 salary savings. What kind of you said you talked about it's budgeted too, besides this, what kind of replacement program do we have? Because, I mean, you've got to be replacing all the time just because you've been by a bunch now. What's our future? Have you got a replacement plan in place that we can have in our budget every year that's just like we did with the fire trucks now and our automobiles and things? How?
Right. Well, I'm working with Joel from administration. It's, I think that we've got it. Last year, we were able to buy general fund computers this next year. And so if that all goes well, we're going to budget to replace once every 4 years, and that should keep us refreshed.
Wouldn't
Even if
be
it
better
extends to
if
once
we-
every 5 years at least, then we're not out of date.
Yeah, I was going to say, wouldn't it be better to have a complete rotation? I mean, like over a 5-year period?
And
100
that's what
today,
we're,
100 next year, and how to then wait 4 years and do all once again?
right. Exactly. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. So this year, like, it was a challenge because, like I said, we had to deploy, it was over 400 computers we put out in 17, 18. Well, that's really hard. So now if we start to get on that rotation of being able to do a couple hundred a year,
Right.
we'll be much better off. 300 a year
And
would
then
be great.
maybe if we start that program, then maybe some of them, if it's have a rotation every 5 years, if that's how long they're good for, but if we could get that program going and we have some that might be left over that's only 3 years old or something, maybe we can sell them or something too, so.
Right, right. And that's definitely the plan. And like I said, I can't thank administration enough for working with us on that and helping us to budget for that.
Yeah, good. I want you to really work with them and get a program, replacement program, so we're not stuck in a hole sometime with 30-year-old fire trucks.
I mean, there were some computers we went and looked and like people were literally, it's like squinting at the screens because the screens were so small.
It's
So now
like the
those
one in my
people-
office, that
yeah.
thing was at least 10 years old. Supervisor Rogers.
Yeah, and at the same time, we need to continue to look at need as far as like myself, I'm just using myself as an example. I don't use the computer in my office, so I don't need one. I do everything on my phone and my iPad. And so my instruction to my staff was let them know I don't need a computer. I don't want to waste county dollars. And I think if there's other people out there like that, that their operation doesn't require a station like that, you can save thousands of dollars over time in just being sensible there and cutting back. So that was my thought on that.
Okay, open to the public. And none running up here. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, got that, Rhonda. Vote. Roll call.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yay.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yay.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Well, we got you here, and it's 11 o'clock for a public hearing, but I'm going to go ahead and finish that. You're up, and then I want to do 7M real quick, and then we'll go back to the public hearing at 11 o'clock for the 11 o'clock hearing. So 7K.
7K, Information Technology Department, discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Converge One in an amount not to exceed $7,848 to provide professional services to migrate the Department of Social Services from a Cisco 7204 router to a ISR router.
Ooh, I'm going to tell Cisco they're not going to be a gold client anymore. They're going from Cisco to ISR.
Good morning. Tanya Say, Chief Information Officer, and with me today is Brian Rohde, our Network Infrastructure Manager. Can you address the ISR?
Good morning, members of the board. Brian Rohde, Network
Hey, we
Infrastructure
get to
Manager.
hear you. Hey.
As well. Good morning. Yeah, so actually the ISR router is still a Cisco product.
Oh.
So it's just an alternative device. And this is one step closer to compliance for Department of Social Services. Ultimately, this is the final leg of an upgrade that we're performing over there, and we get to check a compliance box. So we're taking all of the resources that are currently essentially routing through one freeway, and we're sending it to a separate freeway. And this is kind of replacing that overpass. So the ISR router is our new overpass.
I love your guys' analogies.
Excellent.
You can speak IT to.
And that's an overpass nobody else can use.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and which is important to the security of the system because there's HIPAA information in there and
Push the guy's button next time.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good, Roger.
it's important to the system because of the security that it provides. Just so the public knows that it's the security. It's not about anything but that.
Right.
And operations of the system as well. It'll be a faster operation because that it's secure and it's dedicated.
Okay, any public comment? Then now, what's your pleasure, board?
Move. Oh,
Max made a motion.
I'll take the second on that. Oh no,
I
did.
got
I
it.
just got
Seconded.
it. I had it on there. So
Who seconded?
David, I think. got
That's
it.
it looks
Max,
like
you can,
He
have
pushed
the-
that button
I'm trying to
fast,
take it
man.
off. There you go.
Okay.
Max
Roll
gets the
call.
first, I'll get the second. Or he gets the second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, it won't take mine.
Roll call.
Try it now.
Okay, call for the vote. Supervisor Rodriguez?
We got to vote first. There we go.
Call for the vote.
Can't
Supervisor
believe
Rodriguez?
Yay.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yay.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
7M.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Great job. And
Hey.
come on up, Stephanie.
Item 7M, Board of Directors, Groundwater Sustainability Agency, Water and Natural Resources Department. Discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution to authorize and direct the County Director of Water and Natural Resources to initiate and pursue the basin boundary modifications of the Chowchilla Subbasin and to take such further actions as determined to be necessary to obtain such modifications.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Stephanie Agneson, Director of Water and Natural Resources. This is a short presentation just going over some issues in the Chowchilla Subbasin. So as you remember from the Madera sub-basin, we are in one of the windows that's open for a basin boundary modification. This is window 2. It is closing at the end of the month, though. So this is our opportunity to modify the basin boundaries, the sub-basin boundaries. With a resolution from your GSA, I will notify DWR, and then I will file the paperwork that will modify the basin boundaries. I'll show you a couple of slides that have the issues in them. So in an ideal world, you would see green reaching green here, and you can see there's some gray in between. This is the Chowchilla River between Madera and Merced County. So the boundaries don't quite align between the counties. We have talked to the Merced County folks. They are fine with moving ahead with the sub-basin modification. And this one is, let's see, the 152 in Los Banos. And you can just see there's what we call a white area. No one covers that interchange. I'm not sure why, but we need to have it entirely green so that it shows up in one sub-basin. And the last one has something very similar to what you saw in the Madera sub-basin, these gaps along the river because the course of the river has changed over time.
Right.
So this is between Fresno and Madera County and the Delta Mendota sub-basin and the Chowchilla sub-basin. So a resolution would allow me to move ahead, notify the Department of Water Resources that we are moving ahead with the sub-basin boundary modification, and then I can file the paperwork.
Okay. Any question, any more, Stephanie? Any questions, Supervisor Rogers?
Yeah, this will be in a situation that'll kind of be in flux for probably forever, and will continue to happen through the course of the implementation of the groundwater sustainability law as a result of rivers that change course over time. So it's going to be a situation that we're going to confront continually.
Yes, and I think we can get it 95, 97% there with
Right.
this modification, but you're right. There's always going to be some changes as the river shifts.
Right.
Supervisor Frazier.
As we were modifying it, I saw a lot of it, the lines were over into Merced County. So that land will just go into the Merced County GSA.
Yes,
right?
and in fact, right now, that
Okay.
is part of Merced County. Those parcels are there. They're being assessed by their folks in Merced County.
So that we're in concert there.
Yes.
And so none of these are all boundary modifications we have to do, not like these aren't ones where Chowchilla Water District is in both counties.
Right.
Right, this is just us, right?
This is the sub-basin.
Yeah, this makes it so much easier because if not, Merced County would have had to have been a part of our sub-basin, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Sigma and everything. Great deal.
One more.
Next to the last, slide, it said, was that Root Creek by any chance?
No, those were all in
How come,
Chowchilla.
I don't
Judah
think so.
Berry's
These are
names
all-
on it then?
So good point.
Well,
I have
the original.
fixed this, so it no longer says this, but when we did the report, it was still Julia Berry.
Oh, she done the report.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did so consultant Greg Young from Tully and Young did the technical report for this,
Okay.
but when we took screenshots, we found that Julia's name was still there on the Department of Water Resources website. And I had changed it in a bunch of places already, but this had to go through
I
a
just wanted to make
pipeline
sure I
at
seen that
Department
on
of
there, so
Water
I thought
Resources.
maybe
No,
that might have been in Root Creek District where she's manager there now, right?
that's right. She's the
Right,
general
so,
manager.
okay, so you got it corrected and
Mhm,
everything.
it's
Thank you.
fixed.
And
Thank
Dave.
you.
Yeah, even though we adjust these boundary modifications, we'll still have to comply, or we'll still have to work in concert on the groundwater sustainability plan with adjacent boundaries. Am I correct? I just wanted to make that.
That's right. We're working on interbasin agreements.
And I think so far, I mean, it was rocky on the start, but I think so far, agencies that we're working with seem to be cooperating rather well in general. So am I correct in assuming that as well? I mean, from my interpretation.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Okay.
so important because we get out of sorts, we're going to all be messed up. It's going to be a bad thing. So it's good that we're cooperating.
Any public comment? What's your pleasure, board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got that? Got that, Rhonda? There's our voting.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yay.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Thank you. Did a good job there. Okay, item, public hearing. Item number 6A. Good morning. It is good morning still.
6A, Community and Economic Development Department Planning Division. Hearing to consider the request of Moti Ghazali for a letter of public convenience and necessity to obtain a Type 20 off-premise license to allow the sale of beer and wine for convenience store. The DLP Real Estate Holdings LLC is located on the southwest corner of the intersection of Road 21 and Avenue 18.5, Madera. The parcel is accessed via Highway Avenue 18.5. The parcel is zoned commercial rural median. The general plan is neighborhood commercial.
Before you get started, there's no numbers on these pages.
My apologies, sir. We will make sure that does not happen again. Matt Treber, Director of Community Economic Development. I have Emily Lane from my office, who's a Planner 1 with us. On this item, we do have a brief presentation for the board's consideration on this item. This is a letter of convenience and necessity for the off-premise sales of beer and wine. The parcel is located on the southwest corner of Road 21 and Avenue 18.5 in Madera. Here's just kind of an overlay. You see the neighborhood commercial general plan designation, as well as our zoning map showing it as commercial rural median there. Our next map shows the census tract that this encompasses, 5.03. As you can see, it does go all the way into North Madera, and so hence why you see such the necessity for this item before you. It does, that census tract is a large area of land that it encompasses. The next map kind of zeroes in a little bit and shows the licenses that are within a 2-mile radius. And as you can see, Pilot and the Chevron station are the two licenses that exist within a 2-mile radius of this location. They are, as stated, requesting a Type 20, which allows for the off-premise authorized sale of beer and wine for consumption off the premise of the location. The census tract does have, is permitted by ABC to have 8 of these Type 20 licenses. There are currently 13 that have been issued. As I said, we run into this a lot in the county because our census tracts are so large.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are recommending approval of this letter of convenience and necessity. I would point out this is a very historic, it's an old building. It's been there for a long time. There is the IA zoning designation adjacent to it. Was a church several decades ago. It's currently just a single-family residence that does exist kind of adjacent to that. We are available for any questions. We have not received any correspondence from any of the neighbors on this item, and we're here for any questions you might have.
Any question, Brett?
This serves a good use, I think, out in these rural areas. You can take down vehicle miles traveled instead of them having to go, all the way into the city of Madera, the city of Chowchilla. They can go right out here. So what communities would this serve? How does it really benefit the rural area?
Sure, absolutely. Excellent point, Supervisor, and we can go down. It really serves primarily the northwestern part of the county, Red Top area, and those areas south of Red Top and south of Chowchilla. You're right. This entity, this business is not just selling beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling
it's a convenience store.
Yeah, they're selling a whole number of goods
Milk,
that
eggs,
the rural citizens can, travel to, and makes it easier for them. Oftentimes, transportation can be difficult, right? And so this is a good opportunity to provide some service to rural part of the county in an existing building that was done some time ago.
Okay. Any public comment? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back to the board and see what you got to say.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got her down? Vote?
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Emily, do you have any relatives or had any relatives up at North Fork? None? It's so funny. I went to high school with Emily Lane that lived in North Fork. And her brother was Larry.
Still no?
She had blonde hair, so I guess you're not her daughter. Okay, 6B. Thank you guys very much. Great job.
6B, hearing of objections to assessment of lands by the assessor of the Chowchilla Water District and resolution setting the tax rate for fiscal year 2018, 2019.
Who's doing this?
Oh, that's standard.
No, it ain't
6B.
standard. This is a public hearing.
Oh, I mean, it's a standard every year. Every year we do this. 6B, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's presenting it?
I can present it. That's fine.
As I say, we had the information at the last board hearing. We have all the information that's been up in the clerk of the board's office available to the public. And this is the hearing if there's any objections to the assessment of the lands.
Okay, so do you want to read, did you read it in?
Yes. Hearing of objections to assessment of lands by the assessor of the Chowchilla Water District and resolution setting the tax rate for the fiscal year 2018, 2019.
Okay. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, public? I'm going to close the public hearing and what's your pleasure?
I move to approve.
Second.
Vote, please.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Aye.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yay, yay.
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
Next public hearing, 6C.
6C, Board of Directors, Special Districts, Assessment District 89-1, Bass Lake, Public Works Department, Maintenance and Operations Division. Hearing to adopt a resolution approving the estimate of expenditures and making determination to levy and collect a special assessment for road maintenance purposes for Assessment District number 89-1, Pines Tract, Bass Lake, for fiscal year 2018-19.
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Chairman,
morning.
members of the board, Ahmad Al-Kayat and Andrew Saldate with Public Works. For your consideration today is the continuation of the annual assessment and work program established for the maintenance and repairs of roads and easements within Assessment District 89-1, the Pines Tract at Bass Lake. This district was formed in 1989 and contains 562 parcels served by approximately 7 miles of roads and public easements. Since the roads did not meet county standards and were not accepted into the county's maintained mileage system, the county's general road fund money could not be used to provide maintenance. As such, 89-1 was formed and each residential parcel was levied $100 per year to maintain the roads and public easements. With the $100 annual assessment, the district generates $56,200 per year for maintenance purposes. Both the Pines Civic Council and the district's Road Advisory Committee have recommended approval of this budget and the proposed continuation of the assessment. And we are here to take your question.
They do this every year and they do pretty good raising some money. They usually do about half mile or so road every year.
Yes, I mean, depending on our meetings with them and their need,
Right.
we keep busy there.
What do you got to say, Andrea?
I recommend that it's approved.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we have to come? Why do we have to come this way with this group, unlike a road maintenance district?
Good question.
They
I
formed
would have-
this.
It's been every year we have been coming. This is an assessment district. It's not maintenance.
Okay.
See what they did when the Pines used to be owned by PG&E, I mean, that whole district, then 20, 30 years ago, whenever it was, they put it up for sale so all the landowners could buy their things, and they didn't have a way to keep the roads up, so they started this. About 10 years ago, since I've been on the board anyway, we tried to raise, though, because they wanted a better road, we tried to raise the fees from that $100, I don't remember what it was, $200 or $300 a year, and they all, pretty healthy up there. They all said no. So this is what they get, and they goes that way every year, so.
Yeah, so the difference between an assessment district and a maintenance district is the assessment district has to be reapproved every year
Every
because
year.
the rate could possibly change. We haven't changed the rate, it's set at $100, and so that's what we keep coming towards every year is just to reapprove so that we can reassess the same rate.
It probably
Okay,
wouldn't
so-
hurt next year to see, maybe they might want to change that, so if they want to improve their roads anymore, then.
Still
what-
requires a 218, right?
Yeah, they'd have to do 218 vote, yeah.
Correct. And if it is to be changed, we will meet with the community and see what their needs are.
Yeah.
We do have a plan for them this coming fiscal year with that money, so they all approved it. And we believe that the $100 assessment
Yeah, is that, being a district like this, where they are they eligible for Measure T
I was gonna
matching
ask that,
dollars?
yeah.
I will check into that, but I don't see why not.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that, if they were. I know special districts are, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Open to the public, close to the public, close this public hearing. What's your pleasure, board?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, Rhonda,
Thank you.
thank you guys.
Still got to
We gotta
vote.
vote.
Don't thank us yet.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Aye.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yay?
Vote passes 4-0, one absent.
And just to understand the assessment district, so if we didn't approve that, the assessment district goes away? So there's no dissolving, dissolution?
Nope, not like a.
So, and then to put them into existence, you just create an assessment district?
Right.
Through this same kind of deal? Or it does have to be a 218 and then, maybe we'll have, yeah.
Excuse me, could you speak into the mic so we could get on recording? Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rhonda.
Understood as well.
Yes, Supervisor. I mean, we can definitely see how this district was established back in the 80s and what were the requirements for it. Currently, to my knowledge, this is the only assessment district that we have. So we can come back with you with some more information of how they are created and what is a no vote. What would a no vote do to its existence?
And so like if there's an area that has a temporary need to replace road, you could put maybe a temporary assessment district in place. I'd like to know that just for.
Versus a CSA or
I mean, just in general, just thinking out of the box, if you are in an area where it's not a county maintained facility and no road or tax user, highway tax user money is eligible to be spent there, then like we can always take donations and we can do the work. So consider this as the residents paying for improvements and we can do the work because it is a public.
But then when the
easement.
work is done, then the assessment district can go away. It doesn't have to stay in for perpetuity.
In general, again, just like if somebody writes a check, I need this road paved, it's an easement, we can do it since we will consider it since we can't spend road funds on it.
Is it the same way we did the workout on Avenue 14?
Yes, you can do a public-private partnership of sorts or
Right.
completely private monies and we do the work, but the work has to be covered.
Right.
Yes, sir.
District have any money?
Yes, they do.
How much do they have?
I'm not sure as to their total right now, but this has been an assessment that has been levied on the taxes since I'm not even sure. I haven't looked. I'm sorry.
But there's about 600 parcels, so they get about $100,000. And almost everybody pays it too. It's pretty
Property tax collection has a very high rate.
right, big rate compared to a lot of districts. Yeah.
I'm assuming they have a good balance since we're doing more than a mile of overlays in that district this coming fiscal year.
Excellent.
Regina.
Yeah, and to Chairman, to answer Supervisor Frazier's, one of your questions. So the key to taxes, assessments, and property-related fees is, and whether Prop 218 is needed is whether it's going to be new or increased. Here, it's the same.
Same.
And so no Prop 218 was required. And the voters approved Prop 218 on November 5th, 1996. And because this was assessed prior, then that's also
Yeah. I was just
something
thinking
that takes.
just some different areas that they would just have to go through that process if they wanted to take care of their roads. They could create this assessment district. I was just trying to understand how what the process was. I think
the board letter, I think, says that that was attempted in the past and failed. I don't remember the year when I read. I don't remember the year from the board letter, but I think that was something that was looked into prior.
Yeah, it's been looked into different ways, and they haven't. They're happy with what they're doing right now. So, whoop! I cut you off.
Yeah. Can you do the same thing in a zone of benefit where there's already a maintenance district?
Well,
That's a question you can answer later on.
If it's already a maintenance district, I don't think so.
you could further define an area within a district, in a zone of benefit, and a sub area. That's all something
in a past the
could
hat
always
district.
be correct.
Yeah.
Could always be considered.
Yeah, I think it's something we could do a little workshop on maybe because I'm interested as well.
You know what
I
we
see
ought to do
wheels
is
turning
Put that
here.
on our annual retreat about stuff like that. But special districts, going to benefits, and this type of a.
Well, I think it's really beneficial to understand it because not only for roads, but for we have the white areas and water is going to be a big deal.
All the districts.
So it's going to be an important component of how to pay for some of this.
Might even help when all the people in Norfolk still want streetlights from Maud and Johannes and Ray Beach. We all have tried to find different ways to fund that. We haven't come up with it, but something like this.
Something like this for like a one-time deal.
That's a
for
one-time
streetlights,
deal, a one-time shot. So I know we're getting off subject, hon, but it's a public hearing. But it's been closed. It's been passed. Okay, pending legislation. Thank you, guys. You did a great job. Any pending legislation today? Seeing none. Supervisors and staff reports. Max. Okay.
I will be heading for RCRC after today, after we finish here. And just so people know, RCRC is not paid for with county dollars. It's reimbursed by RCRC. And that's an important thing for me to note because that was put out in some literature that was completely incorrect. So
Brett.
RCRC is not a taxpayer organization.
Brett.
Nothing.
Eric. I want to talk about this. Okay. Regina.
Chairman, I have no report.
Rhonda.
Chairman, when would you like the Agenda Review Committee to meet today?
Let's, you guys want to do it right now? Get her done. You hear that, Ahmad? Matt? Get your finger out of your ear. We're going to do an agenda meeting right now. Tashiana, you got anything? Huh? You're setting up here. What you got? Any reports? Hey, good one. That's okay. Okay, let's see. We're done, and our next meeting is June the 26th. And we will, and July the 3rd, there's a meeting too, so mark your calendar. Don't take off for the 4th. Thank you, everybody. We're closed up. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Bill, for coming. Good seeing you. Done, Brett.
We did.